I am California of the past.
I
I
am
am
California of the past.
I
I
am
am
California
California
of the
of the
past.
past.
Hello, I'm Bruce Roberts, and I'm here to tell you about the wonderful influence the Hayward Library has had on my family, especially my older sister and myself. I'd like to begin by telling you about Gladys Conklin. She was a librarian at the library. Little lady, even as a kid I thought she was little, always wore a beautiful dress. I remember flowers for some reason. Why does that stick out in my mind? Horn-rimmed glasses, her hair seemed like it was always perfect. And she was just the nicest lady, although never shy about telling me to quiet down in the library. I remember that. Anyway, I have a story here from my sister that involves Mrs. Conklin, so I'm going to kind of read some of it and tell you about it as we go. This is my sister Susan, who is 6 years older than I am. I first remember Mrs. Conklin at the new Hayward Library, that's this one, on Mission Boulevard. I was in the 5th grade and had to do state reports. Then in 6th grade, country reports. No computers, so down to the library most afternoons to use the encyclopedias. Who uses encyclopedias anymore? Well, once a week, Mrs. Conklin would round up children of all ages for the bug club. We would meet in one of the conference rooms in the library. Laid out on the table were the tools of a bug collector. Jars with cotton soaked in alcohol, mounting boards and pins, and a few specimens. She would demonstrate the techniques and encourage us to start collecting at home. Well, this involved my family. My dad would build the mounting boards for me and also rescue cigar boxes. He must have had friends that smoked, because he didn't. Where the recently deceased bugs would reside once they had been pinned and dried on the mounting boards and then labeled. So she had boxes full of, you'd open them up and there'd be all these bugs neatly labeled. My mom helped me raise the beautiful anise swallowtail butterflies from caterpillars found on the anise plants growing everywhere in Hayward. We would collect them on our way home from Markham School, put them in a jar with some sticks, and eventually they would develop into a chrysalis. Not a cocoon, Miss Conklin taught us, but a chrysalis. And ultimately, out of their chrysalids would come this beautiful, large, black and yellow tiger swallowtail butterfly. And I'm sure Susan had at least one in her collection, but the rest we would gladly release and watch them as they went off to her garden, where they never stayed, but they did that. Try to find those caterpillars today. I've tried with my kids, I've tried with my grandkids. The anise plants are still there. Occasionally I see the butterflies, but where are the caterpillars? I don't know. Anyway, that was my dad's part, my mom's part. My part in this whole project was as the gopher. She would see a butterfly up a tree, across the creek, down the hill, in the poison oak. It didn't matter. And she'd hand me the butterfly net and say, "Bruce, go!" And I would. Silly little brother. I was happy to go chasing off after these things, and as a result, I know a lot about butterflies. I can tell a checker spot from a painted lady, from a mourning cloak, from a red admiral, from a tiger swallowtail, from a buckeye, from a monarch, from the little white cabbage butterflies you see. Most of these you very rarely see today. They were much more common in the 50s. Anyway, that was my role. Now, while Mrs. Conklin would demonstrate, says my sister, she would also teach all of the facts that kept us coming back each week. She loved her subject so much that she became a published author of bug books. I still have the one on caterpillars and the one on butterflies. She was a wonderful lady, and the bug club probably led me to a lifelong love of science, including becoming a science teacher in the Fremont schools, which my sister did for over 30 years and retired several years ago. Anyway, so she would like to extend her thanks to the people of the Hayward Library for inspiring this passion in her life.